Are you feeling negative? God has positive answer for you.
I say it is impossible.
But God says in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 18, verse 27.
All things are possible.
I say I am tired.
But God says in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30.
I will give you rest.
I say nobody really loves me.
But God says in the Gospel of St. John, chapter 13, verse 34.
I love you.
I say I can't go on.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verses 9.
My grace is sufficient.
I can't figure things out.
But God says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 to 6.
I will direct your steps.
I can't do it.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verses 13.
You can do all things.
I say I am not able.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the 2 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 8.
I am able.
I say it is not worth it.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verses 28.
It will be worth.
I say I cannot forgive myself.
But God says in the first letter of John, chapter 1, verse 9.
I forgive you.
I say I cannot manage.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 19.
I will supply all your needs.
I say I am afraid.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7.
I have not given you a spirit of fear.
I say I am always worried and frustrated.
But God says in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 7.
Cast all your cares on me.
I say I don't have enough faith.
But God says in the Paul's letter to the Romans,
Chapter 12, verse 3. I have given everyone a measure of faith.
I say I am not smart enough.
but God says in the letter of James, chapter 1, verse 5.
I give you wisdom.
I feel all alone.
But God says in the letter of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 5.
I will never leave you or forsake you.
Thus, a happy person is not a person in a certain set of circumstances.
But rather a person with certain set of attitudes.
Very often we allow ourselves to be upset by small things we should despise and forget. We lose many irreplicable hours brooding over grievances that in years' time will be forgotten by us and by everybody.
The mind has tremendous power. Your thoughts have tremendous power. Your prayers have tremendous power. Your praises have tremendous power. All those things make you what you are.
Where people leave your accompaniments and hands, God accompanies and hugs you. Because Jesus has said in the letter of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5,
I will never forsake you and abandon you. Thank you for watching this video. Thanks for watching.